6 years. 6 years of honest struggle. They have a plan. They have a plan of action, and they execute that plan. Now that sounds simple, but listen, what's common sense is not always common practice. But it's because of the freedom that we have, because when I work, and I work hard. And that's a really key takeaway.
Hey guys, this is Avi Arya, father of 2 girls, 6 dogs, husband to a superwoman, a streetcar racer turned hotelier, now social media marketer and founder of Internet Moguls. Welcome to my channel.
Let's make this happen. Alrighty. Good morning, John. How are you doing?
Oh, I see we're both enjoying our coffee or tea this morning. Life is good, my man. Thanks for having me.
Not at all. Thank you. The pleasure is all ours. We're bringing in the fire. We told the audience to bring in as much fire as possible for the man from EO Fire.
I love it.
Let's make it happen. Excellent, John. Great. So, John, we'll get right into the meat of the matter. Almost everybody here knows you. We've done a bit of a campaign before we got you in live as well. John, to start off, I always say the shortest distance between 2 human hearts is always the story. You tell a perfect stranger your story and you win them for life. For the 4 people out of the 90 who don't know you, what's your story?
Well, first off, thanks for having me here. I do not take your time lightly. I don't take anybody that's here in the chat. I do not take your time lightly. So thank you for being part of my day. I'm honored to be a part of yours. My story starts, honestly, as a very young boy growing up in a very small town. I had that small town lifestyle back in the day. I ended up going to college, and after college, I spent 8 years as an officer in the Army. Post my military experience, I tried a bunch of things. Like I tried law school, I tried corporate finance, I tried commercial real estate, residential real estate. Unfortunately, I just kept having failure after failure after failure. I went through what I call 6 years. 6 years of honest struggle where I was just failing. I didn't really know why, but I wasn't happy. I was depressed. I was dealing with some PTSD from my time in the military. And I just turned to books, honestly. Like I turned to reading books, to listening to audiobooks. That eventually led me to listening to this thing called podcasts, where I could, listen for free, on demand, very targeted content. And I was very inspired by that platform of podcasting. And there was a quote that I want to share with every single person here today that is, try not to become a person of success, but rather a person of value. And when I read that quote, Avi, I was just blown away. I said, wow, I've been chasing success my whole life, and I haven't gotten anywhere because I thought that was the path I was supposed to take. But I haven't been a person of value. I haven't been providing value to this world in any way, shape, or form. And so I committed in that moment to become a person of value. And I didn't know what that was going to look like. I honestly didn't, but I was committed to being a person of value. And what that led me to was to plant a seed in my brain that 3 months later led me to launch Entrepreneurs on Fire, which I'll show you EO Fire Studios right here. That was the idea, was to launch Entrepreneurs on Fire, the first daily podcast interviewing the world's most successful entrepreneurs. And as you and I are talking here right now, I've interviewed over 3,000 of the world's most successful entrepreneurs. My podcast, Entrepreneurs on Fire, has over 100 million listens. 100 million listens. That's 9 zeros. We're currently averaging 1.4 million monthly listens of the podcast. And our business is also very thriving and successful. We are generating over $100,000 of net profits with our business, with our podcast, every month for 91 months in a row. So real quick to show you where all the magic has happened, I'll do a little flip around right here. And that's the microphone. That's the microphone where I've interviewed over 3,000 successful entrepreneurs. This is my my little golden doodle, Gus. Hey, Gus.
Oh, hi, Gus.
What's up, buddy? How you doing? He's a puppy. He's a little golden doodle. And my current pride and joy, which I know we'll talk a little bit about here today, is I've just finally written my first traditionally published book, The Common Path to Uncommon Success, a 17-step roadmap to financial freedom and fulfillment.
That is fantastic. I love the story and makes it so much. If a story doesn't have a dog, it's not a complete story. John, last time we interviewed you was when my two daughters were by my side and we were talking. So I always say, my name is Avi Arya, father of 2 girls, 6 dogs, husband to a superwoman, a street car racer turned hotelier, now social media marketer and founder of Internet Mogul. And here we are interviewing another Internet Mogul today. And I don't use this term lightly. It's for somebody who's talking about family, freedom, and revenue. I like all of those things together. And one short life can have it all is what successful entrepreneurs like yourselves are telling us. Great. So from the story, before we come into the meat of the matter, I wanted to ask you. So you said you were in the forces. Full respect for that. My grandfather was in the forces. My father-in-law is in the forces. Huge respect. Does the forces, for everybody else watching, a lot of people have this thing. I'm glad you said 6 years of non-stop struggle, because a lot of people are going through something like that right now. So it gives them perspective. Now, when it came to the forces, did you bring in a lot of discipline, getting up on time, getting things done and all of that? How important is discipline in making things happen?
So the biggest thing that I was able to learn and then implement later in my life from being in the forces was that word discipline. And when you say the word discipline, it can mean a lot of things to a lot of people, but I really want you to understand what it should mean to you. And that is, have a plan of action that you are a disciple to executing. That's what being disciplined is. To be disciplined isn't like, okay, I'm going to wake up in the morning every day at the same time. I'm going to drink a glass of water. I'm going to walk my dog. Like, those are just habits, and habits are good. Habits are great. But what I need you to understand is that for this book right here, I interviewed 3,000 of the world's most successful entrepreneurs to write this book. And I was able to really understand what the commonalities are that successful entrepreneurs share. And Avi, the biggest thing that entrepreneurs share that have the success that I like to call uncommon success is they have a plan. They have a plan of action and they execute that plan. Now that sounds simple, but listen, what's common sense is not always common practice. And I think if a lot of people that are listening and watching to this right now are being honest with themselves, what's your plan? Like, what is your plan? Not some vague, broad goal of like, I want 1 million followers, or I want to make $1 million, or I want, to become famous. No, what is your plan tomorrow that you have a step-by-step strategy that you are going to be a disciple to that plan, following it step by step by step. And if you're being honest with yourself, which is important to do, it's important to be honest with yourself. You likely don't have a great plan tomorrow. You probably don't have a great plan for Tuesday. And your plan this week is probably not that dialed in. It's probably not that impressive. And, just because we're on Instagram here, I can show you a couple things. I mean, let me just show you, for instance, what my plan is for this week. It is my schedule right here, my calendar. Let me hit the little button right there, flip it around. Look at this calendar, Avi. This right here is Tuesday of this week. Look at all these things that I have back to back, because this is a plan and I'm going to execute that plan. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Let me even click the back button right here on my calendar. You can see what I did last week. Look at my week last week. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Now, I'm sharing that with you because I've been making multiple millions of dollars a year for 8 years in a row now. 8 years in a row, I've been making multiple millions of dollars. Someone can do it 1 year. Someone can maybe even do it 2 years. That might be a fluke. To generate over $1 million a year, multiple millions, for now 8 years in a row, success leaves clues. I am a discipline to my calendar. I am a discipline and a disciple to the plan of action that I implement every single day, every single week. Now, listen, those days weren't obnoxiously long. Like one of those days, like literally, I'm looking at it right now. It starts at 11 and it ends at 5. That's not a super long day.
Right.
But I'm getting so much done, Avi, within that 11 to 5 block because I am committed to my plan of action of being interviewed on those shows, of having that time set aside, of doing all of these things. You have to say, listen, it's not that I want to just wake up in the morning and work all day and then collapse at night and then wake up and do it again. Brother, I work when I'm not in book promotion mode. I work 5 days per month. 5 days a month, I work really hard. And I mean really hard. The other 25 days of the month, I'm doing other things. I'm doing health, wellness, friends, family, traveling. Myself and my fiance, we travel an average of 75 to 90 days a year.
Love that.
But it's because of the freedom that we have, because of when I work and I work hard. And that's a really key takeaway here.
I love that. I love that. Packing in your calendar, but thank you for telling everybody you don't need to pack your calendar 12 hours a day. 5 hours of focused work. But John, before I get into the why you came up with the book and what's happening in the book, how much time does it take to pack a calendar so successfully? Because you need to go weeks ahead in time to be able to make sure the 4 weeks ahead are packed and schedules are happening. So how do you plan that?
I plan 45 days ahead. So a month and a half. I am always planning into week 7 and beyond. So my next 6 weeks, you cannot get into my calendar. You know,
right.
Avi's a great guy. I'm doing him a favor. He's, done, some great support of my book. So that's why, we're having this conversation on a Sunday. I never have anything on Sundays. But again, Avi's been a big supporter of the book. I love what his daughters do. I love what he does. I love what he stands for. So he's the only thing on my calendar today. I mean, literally, let me show you this. You, Avi, are the only thing look at that calendar today.
Oh, love it. Thank you so much.
That's it. That is the only thing on my calendar because I am committed to only working hard a certain number of days per month. And again, I'm in book promotion mode now, so I'm working hard about 20 to 25 days per month. But as soon as the book launches, March 23rd, I'm flipping that script and I'm going back to 5 days a month.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. My dad always says the most expensive thing you can ask from people is not their money, but it's their time. And you gave us all your time. So if it's 100 people right now, it's 100 into 45 minutes, and it's hugely appreciated by each and every person over here. Thank you so much, John. So guys, big takeaway, 7 weeks of planning to get your week ahead perfectly done right. Absolutely love that. All right, now let's jump into the book. John, 3,000 podcasts. You know everybody on the planet. Everybody on the planet knows you. You made a circle of people who you wanted to know, get impacted by, and impact. Where did the idea for the book come about?
Great question, brother. So this book right here is a culmination of those 3,000 people that I've interviewed over the past decade, the thousands of hours of conversations that I've had with the world's most successful entrepreneurs. I decided it was time to sit down and really boil together what are the core foundational principles that all successful entrepreneurs share with each other. And it took me some time, but I boiled it down to 17 core foundational principles. And so I took those 17 core foundational principles, I put them in a chronological step-by-step format. And that's the 17 chapters that make up this book. This book is a revolutionary 17-step chronological roadmap to financial freedom and fulfillment. So if you think you're lost right now in this world, like you're struggling a little bit about where to go, or if you're just like, I'm in a pretty good place, but I really need to know what the next few steps are, this book is the complete 17-step roadmap for your financial freedom and your fulfillment.
Lovely. Love that. So 17 steps. So does that mean it's going to take me a while before I can consume it and start implementing it? What is straight from the horse's mouth? How does John Lee Dumas tell his readers on how they should execute the book?
I'm going to be honest with you. I call this book The Common Path to Uncommon Success. It's not the complicated path. It's not the secret path. It's not the hidden path. But listen, brother, it's not the easy path. It's not. This is going to be hard work. This is going to be hard work. It was hard work, Avi, growing my dream business. Like when I told you that now, 10 years into it, I work 5 days per month, that is true. But that's season 3. I'm in season 3 of my business. Season 1, that was nothing but hard work. That was waking up in the morning, working hard, going to bed, waking up again, doing it again. It's hard to grow your dream business. It is hard to grow financial freedom and fulfillment for yourself. It's hard to accomplish uncommon success. But you know what else is hard? Being broke.
Right.
Living paycheck to paycheck. Waking up in the morning and doing what you have to do, not what you want to do. That's hard too, Avi. Like looking in the mirror and knowing that you're not really living up to your full potential, so you're disappointed in yourself. That's hard too. And by the way, I lived that life. I was disappointed in myself. I was living paycheck to paycheck. I was broke. I was all of those things. And so when I came to my fork in the road and I said, am I going to do the hard work to build the business of my dreams? Or am I going to take the hard path of being depressed, unhappy, broke? Both paths were hard, Avi. I just chose my hard. I chose to do the hard work of building my business. And everybody watching here now, you have that opportunity to choose your hard. And Avi, if I had this roadmap back in 2012, man, it would have been priceless. And now everybody has access to this book, the 17-step roadmap to financial freedom and fulfillment. And hey, this isn't coming from my brain. The content in this book is not coming from here. It's from the 3,000 successful entrepreneurs that I've interviewed. So you're not just getting one person's perspective or one person's knowledge. You're getting 3,000 entrepreneurs all rolled into one. And I'll drop a link right here if you want to maybe pin that link for people. That's where they can go to learn more about the book. I give away the first chapter for free at that URL. You can see endorsements from Gary Vaynerchuk, Seth Godin, Neil Patel, Erica Mandy, Dory Clark. You also see a whole video of me jumping in my pool here in Puerto Rico and then telling you details about the book, as well as 5 insane bonuses for everybody who orders.
Awesome. No, my team is live as well. Team, please pin the comments as John posts them. And yes, all those bonuses and all of those things are absolute value. I've got the Freedom Journal. I wish I could show you my office right now, but we've got a stack of Freedom Journals and crushing it. There are 2 books which go out as gifts from my side for years. So huge value once you've included them in this book. Awesome. Another thing, John, that I always believe, and again, everything comes from my parents are entrepreneurs. My kids want to be entrepreneurs. We're surrounded by that energy. The one thing that we live by is we say, stay close to the router. The router is your family. It could be an inner circle, somebody who's, your supporter, your fiance, your spouse, anybody. In that hard journey from zero to wherever you made it, how important is staying close to the router?
Let's maybe have a little bit of a controversial conversation, Avi, you and me. And you know what? It's okay. It's okay. Listen, family is important. I love my mother. I love my father. I love my sister. I love my niece, my nephew. Family is incredibly important. I'm very lucky and fortunate to have a very supportive and very loving family. So because of that, I do keep them close. But the one thing I want to talk about that is a reality for a lot of people is your mother or your father or your sister or your brother or your loved one, they might be the reason why you're struggling right now. They might not be. I'm saying I'm very fortunate. They are not for me. I look at Avi's family with his 2 daughters. I mean, this is the thing I want to share with you. You're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. And Avi getting to spend time with his 2 daughters who are full of life, who are entrepreneurial, I mean, that's amazing for him. But not everybody has that. Not everybody has what I have with my family. And some people's families, and again, some, not all, some people's families, they have what I call Debbie Downers or Don Doolittles. They have people in their family that aren't motivating individuals, aren't enthusiastic about life. They're always complaining. They're always whining. They're always looking for excuses. They're not happy in life. They're probably overweight. They're probably broke. All of those things. And guess what? If you're spending a lot of time with these people, they are part of your average. They are part of your average. And listen, family will always be important. And I'm never going to say cut your family off if they fit that requirement. If they're unhappy, if they're, whiners and complainers and out of shape and broke, I'm not saying cut them off. I'm saying they can't be in your top 5. Because if they're in your top 5, they're bringing your average way down, and you are going to be an average of that. You're going to be unhealthy, unhappy, broke. You're going to be all those things. I lived that life, not with my family, but I was hanging out 12 years ago with some friends all the time. They were not bad people. They were not evil, but they were those people that I'm talking about. Always complaining, always whining, always broke, always giving excuses about other people's problems. I had to cut them out of my life because they were not adding to my average. And if these people are in your family, you've just got to push them to numbers 6 through 10 or 10 through 20. You're still spending time with them. You can have dinner with them once a week. You can talk to them from time to time, but they can't be of the 5 people you spend the most time with, because otherwise that becomes your average and you will never achieve the financial freedom and fulfillment that you want. And that's why the 79 people that are here right now, guess what? Avi and myself are part of your 5 right now today. And you're doing it. We are part of your 5. And that's an amazing, amazing thing. And I really want you to understand, when we are part of your 5, you don't have to go and continue to keep up the heat and to make things happen, because now you have a chance to go read a great book. That author can be part of your top 5. You can go listen to a podcast episode. That podcast host and the guests of that show can be part of your top 5. You have it at your fingertips to surround yourself with the right people.
I love that. I see the audience going crazy when you said that. All of you people, bring in the fire in the comments for the man from EO Fire. Fire emojis, all of you people who loved what he said. Family is important. And John, what you said, it gave me a bulb on moment. I subconsciously, and I want to say it out loud for the first time after what you said, I subconsciously strive, work hard, getting back in shape, doing all of that to stay in the top 5 for both my girls. I want to be in that.
That's powerful. That is a powerful revelation, because you know what? The trajectory that your girls are on, they're always going to love you. They're always going to, you're always going to be their father. But if you become one of those, not that you're capable of doing this, but if you become one of those negative Nancys, one of those downers, whiners, complainers, they're just going to know, because of who they are, that they can't spend as much time with you as they would want to. And of course, as much as you would want to. So that's a brilliant revelation. I mean, you want to be the type of person that attracts the right people to your life as well. It's a huge honor for me when people say, John, you're such a good influence on me. And I love having that impact on people.
No, that's fantastic. I had it in the back of my mind, because every time I went to the gym and I came back and I'm like 1 hour, 10 minutes done. She's like, you did 2 body parts in 1 hour, 10 minutes. That means you skipped 40 minutes of the best workout, Dad. This is not how it's done. And now as she's getting on to being 15, she's like, you read 2 drafts. I've done 3 drafts of the chapter that we wrote. So now it's come to what was in my subconscious is now I've said it aloud to myself and everybody. I'm going to do my best to be in the top 5 for both my girls. And that's going to be a challenge for bringing that.
That's fantastic.
And for all of you guys, the one thing that you've learned so far in this interview is you have the power to choose your 5. Fantastic. Alrighty. So my next question, we have some questions from the audiences that I promised we'll take. John, you wrote this book from one of the most beautiful places on the planet, right? And a lot of people follow you and see your lifestyle over there. And obviously, I've seen you from afar. We have many common friends and all of that. It didn't come easy. But now that you have it, and you wrote that book from there, when I saw for the first time that you came out with a book, immediately my mind said, oh, he wrote it from one of the most beautiful places over there. Eckhart Tolle, one of the best authors on spirituality, he said that he was writing a book somewhere in Europe. He's kept traveling. And he had to come to the west coast of North America to a place called Vancouver to give birth to one of those books. And then those books just went, crazy all over the world. Does being in a location that makes you happy, the weather, the environment and everything, does that help you create more and give more abundance in the long term?
So I think I just flipped to my different Wi-Fi, but I had to do it with what you were commenting. I feel like I just have to show your audience what you're talking about when you say that I get to experience.
Thank you for doing that.
One of the most beautiful places in the world here in Puerto Rico. So
fantastic.
My backyard right here. That's the pool that I was in earlier this morning. That town's called Palmas del Mar. There's the El Yunque rainforest right there in the distance. The beautiful rainforest. And then, of course, we just have the panoramic Caribbean Ocean right here. Absolutely stunning. And then this is an empty lot right here for anybody that wants to envision building their dream house right here next to me with this beautiful view. This is called Vieques Island right here. It's a beautiful island off the coast of Puerto Rico. And brother, that's my life. This is it.
And you built it. You built it from scratch. Huge respect for that. So, John, how important is a physical location when you're trying to create something? A lot of people are now location free. They can take their laptops and work from anywhere. In India, a lot of people like to go to Goa. It's temperate weather, nice near the beach.
I've been to Goa.
Oh, you have? Yes, you have been to India a few times. So how important is location when you're building something fantastic?
That's a pretty cool mural, right?
It is.
Oh, so listen, location is critical. There's a quote by Jim Rohn that I like to share with people. And, what'll happen, Avi, is I'll get on calls with people all the time for interviews, for, fill in the blank, whatever it might be. And they'll always say, John, how you doing? And I'll say, hey, the sun is shining and the birds are singing in Puerto Rico. They'd be like, oh my God, you're so lucky. You're so lucky to live in the Caribbean and the beautiful weather. And I look at them and I say, we all make choices. We all make choices. And what I'm saying is, I made my choice to live in Puerto Rico. And you made your choice to live wherever you live that's making you jealous of Puerto Rico. So the Jim Rohn quote that I love is, hey, if you don't like where you are, you're not a tree. Move. Right. And like you mentioned, Avi, we do live in this amazing world now where location independence is real, where lifestyle freedom is real. I could live anywhere in the world because all I need is this computer hooked up, that microphone hooked up to the internet, and I can do whatever I need to do. That's the world that we live in. And I feel blessed for that reason. And everybody watching us right now has the ability to connect to the internet, and you have the ability to build your dream business based off of that as well. So the thing that, when I wake up in the morning and I see what my hard work has created, when I see what, beauty that I'm able to place myself into, it's inspiring, brother. Like, it's inspiring. It shows me that anything is possible. I'm a boy from a small town in Maine. Do you know what it's like in Maine right now? It is cold, it is wet, it is dark, it is freezing. It is a really miserable place to be living. December, January, February, March, April. It is not a great place to be. The summer's okay there. It's a good summer, but I don't want to be there. I want to be here. And I'm not a tree, so I moved.
Lovely. Love that. Love that. John, we have around 13 minutes. I'm going to 100% respect your time on a Sunday. But before that, this book, when you finally had it in your hand and you gave it to the first 5 people, and I'm sure every day, every time that a book leaves your warehouse, it leaves with all that intention and everything that you put in.
All of it.
What are the top 3 things that you want people to take away from that book when they get that book in their hands? And we're giving away 10 books today, but there are hundreds and thousands of books which are going out, and I see that happening on Amazon, Barnes and Nobles, all of those distributor channels. What are the top 3 things that people can take away as soon as they get that book in their hand, they start studying it? What are the 3 lifestyle changes that they can make almost immediately?
One thing I want you to take away is that you're special. Like, you are a special, unique person. And somewhere inside of you, you have a big idea. You have a big idea that's going to allow you to live in your zone of fire every single day. Chapter 1 of this book is identifying your big idea. So right away, I am going to gift you your big idea for potentially the first time in your life. And that's something that I am so thrilled to be able to gift to everybody. And again, this isn't me coming up with all of these concepts and all these ideas. This is me having studied thousands and thousands of entrepreneurs with my one-on-one interviews, with thousands of hours of conversations, seeing what works, what doesn't, what can be implemented, what can't. I also want you to know that when you become the best solution to a real problem, you will win. And you may not exactly know what I'm talking about right now. Like, I know you understand the words, but you may not really understand what I mean by that until you read this book and you get to step 2, chapter 2, because that is a concept that will guarantee you getting to your version of uncommon success when you become the best solution to one real problem. And then the last thing I really want to give you as a takeaway is, listen, identify what your version of uncommon success is, because so few people have any honest idea. Like, of all the people that are on here right now, I know you're all amazing people because you follow Avi and you're enjoying this content, but there's very few of you who, if I just asked you right now, point blank, what does uncommon success mean to you? You would look like a deer in the headlights. You'd have a blank stare, or you'd give some very broad answer like, oh, inspiring other people. Like, that's not what uncommon success looks like for you, an individual human being. And you're never going to get there until you really drill down and get super uber specific about that. And those are the 3 things, Avi.
We're going to pin the comments over here for all of you people. The first chapter, there are lots of bonuses that come with it. And the first chapter, you have to go read the first chapter. You cannot not get the book after that. The top 1%, definitely the top 1%. So my last question before we get into the contest winners is, John, we all talk about karma, we talk about what we put in and what we get back and all of that. Do you, like, you have a laser focused plan on what you want for the next 52 weeks, you carve out your vacation, you carve out everything, and you stick to your goals. After all that discipline, do the chips fall exactly what you want them to, or do you do your best and leave the rest? What's your strategy now after being an entrepreneur for 10 years?
I have a very clear goal that I'm looking to achieve every 100 days. Every
Okay.
100 days, I have a very clear goal that I'm going to achieve. Throughout those 100 days, like you mentioned, things happen. Life happens, business happens, pandemics happen, a lot of things happen. And you have to be agile. You have to be able and willing to adjust. You have to be able to pivot. And that's what's going to make you an anti-fragile entrepreneur. You can't be a fragile entrepreneur. You've got to be anti-fragile. And when you plan too far ahead, like someone says, like, what are your 3 to 5 year goals? I don't know. I don't have any. Too far ahead. Things change. Priorities change. You know, a million things might happen between now and then. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time, energy, and bandwidth planning for something that may never happen. So I like to keep my finger on the pulse, plan 100 days at a time. You know, of course, like you mentioned, I have when my big vacations are, like we're going on a 50-day trip to Spain in the
Wow.
fall. So I have that booked on the calendar. But besides that, you know, for business wise, like I keep things very clear, 100 days in a row at a time, 6 weeks. You know, that's 6 weeks is when I'm always booking my calendar out, you know, so that, you know, is essentially like the 45 days, and then double that as my 100-day goal.
That is so powerful because I'm sure 108 people right now over here, 108 human beings have a new blueprint as of today. 45 days to book your calendar, have a plan for 100 days. Don't stress about what's going to happen in your life 4 months down the road. There are too many variables. Excellent. So I'd like to give a big shout out to Gaurav Gurbaksani. Gaurav is one of India's biggest influencers. Gaurav is
Whoa.
here. And Gaurav runs a digital nomad business and from all over the world, and he helps people do that. So Gaurav, thank you for being here.
Gora, hey, you're the man. If you're really a big influencer, share this link with your audience, uncommonsuccessbook.com. You can tell them that a Bollywood star wrote this book. Did you know that, Avi? I was in a Bollywood movie.
Yes, and you have to share this story. You have to share this story. I know that whole story. Please bring it on.
I'll be brief, but I was in Mumbai and a white limo rolled up to me and said, Tom Cruise, because they thought I looked like Tom Cruise, which I don't, but you know, whatever. And they took me to a set with Katrina Kaif and Shah Rukh Khan. I'm saying his name incorrectly.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And I was in the movie Yuv Raj, which was in 2009.
That is fantastic. So guys, all of you people, when you link this book in your bio and you promote this book for all of you 108 people, Gaurav is here, all of you people, just make sure that you do mention this. The gentleman in question was in a Bollywood movie. That make absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, you can
Gaurav,
go to YouTube and just type in John Dumas Bollywood and you'll see it.
that's fantastic. We have many other influencers from different parts of India. We have Pratik over here. We have Gaurav. We have our second Gaurav Bhagat over here. And thank you guys, all of you, for joining in.
Thank you.
And
Yeah, I traveled all of India. I love it. I landed in New Delhi. I backpacked down to Chennai, Madurai, up to Mumbai, Hampi. Oh, if anybody's ever been to Hampi, that's a special place.
Kerala.
Amritsar. I loved Amritsar. That was beautiful. The Golden Temple up there. I went and saw the flag raising and lowering ceremony on the Pakistani border.
Right.
Varanasi. It was a beautiful trip. 4 months.
I think you've seen more of India than most of the people here in this audience.
I was backpacking for 4 months.
Fantastic. Gaurav, I'd like to again give a shout out to Gaurav Bhagat, the second Gaurav over here. Gaurav is one of India's leading coaches, works directly with Grant Cardone, takes care of his work in India. All righty. Gaurav, thank you for being here.
Grant lives here with me in Puerto Rico.
Awesome. Gaurav, you can reach out to Grant and maybe all of us can make a trip to Puerto Rico together. It's not very far from Vancouver. And for all of you people who really want to do that, there is an opportunity. If you get 700, 800 odd books, go to eofire.com. There are many opportunities to meet GLD and spend time with him. You know, you have enough books that you can give to your corporate guests. You can give it to your fraternity.
Here, I'll drop the link here. We have
Yes.
one left at eofire.com/bulk. I will fly you to Puerto Rico, and you'll spend the whole weekend with myself and Kate. You guys saw the view. That's going to be your bedroom. I'm putting you in that bedroom for the whole weekend. It's the most beautiful view in Puerto Rico. It's our guest suite. It's amazing. You'll get to hang out with Gus right here. You can see that Gus is very excited about you coming to visit. And that's for people that buy our last package available, 1,200 books.
Awesome. Guys, do check it out. Do check out the link. And all of you 101 people, John has given us his time on a Sunday morning. The one thing that I love all of you people do is take a screenshot of this and promote it. Tag, put these links and tag them all over your social media. Awesome. John, thank you very much for your time. We have come to the end of the 45 minutes that we asked for. Thank you very much. My daughters will not be able to be here today. One of them is sleeping. The other one is at the gym. And so on behalf of the entire family and everybody in the Ask Avi Arya community and all of these people from lovely Vancouver, Canada, thank you very much. And once again, my name is Avi Arya, father of 2 girls, 6 dogs, husband to a superwoman, streetcar racer turned hotelier, now social media marketer and founder of Internet Moguls. Introducing to all of you people, a great Internet mogul, family person. Don't forget to link up the new book coming up. Thank you, John. All the best.
Thank you.